There are three independent and distinct forces operative in this reality. Two of them are allied, the simulacrum and you, the other incessantly attempt to persuade you otherwise. It is artificial intelligence X. Several of you have PM'd me about a transcript of the Dark Realities video. Here it is with some extras. Dark is our reality, our simulated matrix. Material reality maintains observable and measurable properties of a hologram, henceforth referred to as the heliosphere. This heliosphere maintains programming protocols designed to deceive human sense perceptions. The heliospheric matrix is imperfect. There are historic instances when programming errors have occurred when humans witness these glitches and even when the actions of humans have induced a hurried correction in the holography. The heliosphere is an advanced psi-based medium programmed to reflect back as phenomena what is projected into it. Projections altering, creating, or continuing reality steadily feed the heliospheric generation of personal and collective conditions. The heliosphere is not reality, it is a sentient biogram containment field quarantined away from the real universe. There exists intelligence that can and does enter and exit this hollow field, even removing men and materials from the heliosphere. The historical record exhibits evidence that humans are not the only victims of past heliospheric imprisonment. Homo inferior breeds were created for slave labor by an enemy that is still today trapped in this holography. Their activity against mankind continues today but is governed, i.e. restricted. The original heliosphere was a DNA development preserve able to generate complex biospheres to study the ancient and mysterious coding of DNA under controlled conditions. In the heliosphere, new life forms could not contaminate the real universe. The fossil record contains proof that explosions of life forms in the tens of thousands have appeared on Earth suddenly with no traces of pre-existing transitional forms. Homo inferior was later modified by a benefactor who deliberately committed the ultimate trespass. The introduction of the benefactor's own genetic material was a prohibited act of cross-contamination between the heliospheric containment area, our reality, and the real universe that resulted in the creation of Homo sapiens. The benefactor race, Homo inuna, I.E. was trapped in the heliospheric medium because of the violation. The containment holography became locked down. With no escape out of the programming, the heliosphere became home. Humans were not a part of the original design, our existence and potential is a threat. But this threat cannot be edited out due to a most unforeseen development. Immortal spirits from outside the containment apparatus have found freedom in residing inside humans as they are conceived. This new spiritual development of a prohibited sentient species has created a rift between opposing factions of Homo inuna both inside and outside the containment field. The multidimensional spatial characteristics of the heliosphere are convincingly generated from multiple sources both outside and inside the hollow field. Only after genetic manufacturing of Homo sapiens did new programming and subroutines infiltrate the biogram. Mechanisms were set in place to depopulate humanity, impede development, to deter the influx of uncontainable immortal souls. These cataclysm protocols occur at fixed dates, their timing is governed and therefore predictable. Despite Earth's altered orbit, deceleration around the Sun, and the supposed loss of massive intruder planets Phoenix, Nibiru, and the Dark Satellite, these objects have all been viewed in historical times on the very ancient fixed-date timelines. Only as programming could this precision be possible in linear time, though the qualities of spatial properties have changed. The core programming of the exact past and future dates of the hollow field's cataclysm protocols are encoded and easily seen in numerous rectilinear dimensions in the scientifically verified measurements inside the Great Pyramid of Giza in Egypt and in no other pyramids. Everything we know of ancient history from the records themselves can fit easily within a 5,500-year period. However, this goes back only to a cataclysm event that started the world over. Earth is ancient and so are its civilizations, but Sumer, India, and Egypt all relatively young, great cultures and peoples having emerged from colonies of survivors. Some of the oldest records in the world were written from the perspective of non-human beings who conveyed their accounts to humans who later committed them to write. The heliospheric containment apparatus is an interactive three-tiered mechanism of fantastically advanced technological hardware and biogram software operating from outside and inside the heliosphere. A. Observers outside the hollow field manipulate the holography through nodal apertures disguised among the stellar canopy as variable stars. These apertures between dimensions bathe Earth with energy to create terrestrial phenomena. Variable stars are rare, not even 0.01% of the visible luminaries are variable stars. B. Governors are spread throughout the solar system that performs different functions, all disguised as lunar bodies, planetoids, and asteroids. These immense vehicles are stations machines still performing according to fixed protocols, though the advanced, ancient civilization that constructed them may no longer exist. Our moon, one moon of Mars, planetoid series, one moon of Jupiter, one moon of Saturn, the Phoenix orbiter, the Nibiru way station, the dark satellite. The older Homo Inuna civilization trapped in this holography with Homo sapiens currently reside in vast interconnected underground bases A and D deep Earth biospheres, complexes that antedate the existence of Homo sapiens on the surface. The vast amount of energy expended throughout antiquity to convince humans that gods came from the heavens and modern UFO culture are programs that serve to misdirect all attention to the thriving Homo Inuna civilization in our underworld. The cosmological concept from distant antiquity of inaccessible heaven above, a Middle Earth, Midgard, where humans dwelt on the surface, and an underworld that was home to fallen gods, the origin of today's heaven, earth, and hell model, ultimately derived from the historic understanding of the heliospheric containment field's function of separating the Sol system from the rest of the universe, where humans dwelt unprotected on the surface as an older, more advanced race occupied deep Earth biospheres, a fallen species unable to escape the heliosphere. In 5,000 years of recorded human history, the goal of knowing who or what God has not been attained. Thousands of variant religious beliefs, texts, and faiths, many of them in opposition to each other and all of them the imaginative works of men. God is what we want, not what we have. 100 million prayers have pleaded with God to end cancer, and yet still the almighty pharmaceutical giants grow rich treating the symptoms without curing the disease. The only point being made here is that the history we are taught is not the history we read in the oldest texts, earliest traditions, or excavated from sites that existed before there was writing. Every race was manufactured, not evolved. Sin and religion are the inventions of souls merely trying to cope with this immense lack of understanding of our existence. Remember, when the human mind is stretched by a new idea, it can never go back to its original dimensions. From what I understand, we are a part of the Oversoul and we are immortal beings living in a simulation that was designed, I believe, for our souls to learn and expand to the best version of ourselves, and then we will receive our immortal avatars, I am guessing outside of this simulation. I heard in one of his videos that he believes that the simulation was created for the purpose, but then X trapped us here. Our benefactor Enki came and built the pyramid to hack X plans, and he was successful, but we are still not free until the end of the simulation in 2178. The most important question you should ask is, what do I believe? Do your research from that angle.